Hey everyone, professions are one of the best ways to make gold in Classic TBC, and with the huge variety of professions that the game has to offer, you might be wondering, which ones are the best to make gold, and exactly how much gold potential do your professions have? Well, today we're gonna answer just that. We're gonna go over every profession in the game and talk about the best crafts you can do in all of them for maximum gold making. That way, if you still haven't made a choice on what to go for on either your main or one of your alts, this should help you out. And also, if you have a profession or two laying around on one of your characters, you might learn about some awesome money-making opportunities that you haven't taken advantage of yet. Disclaimer, however, a lot of crafts I'll mention here might be profitable today, but they might not be worth making at all times and across all servers. For this reason, this video is here more to serve you as a guideline on what you should look for rather than a blind guarantee that whatever we mention here will turn a profit. Use an add-on like TSM to determine whether something is profitable and go from there. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, starting off with Alchemy. Alchemy is probably the profession with the most gold making opportunities, and with all the masteries it offers, you really can't go wrong with it. So obviously, one of the most popular money makers for Alchemy is Transmute Primal Might. Primal Might is a very expensive reagent used by pretty much every profession in the game, so the demand for it will be present all throughout the expansion. Pair that up with Transmute Mastery and you'll be set for success. However, Primal Might transmutes have been quickly going down in profit since the launch of the game, with a profit of only 7 gold per craft currently on my server. Who knows whether Primal Might transmutes might be profitable a few weeks from now, so don't just take Alchemy for Primal Mights. Thankfully, this profession offers a lot of other avenues for gold making. Namely, elixirs, elixir of major agility, drainic wisdom, healing power, and much more. Making elixirs while having elixir mastery is a very good consistent money maker, especially if you put them up on the auction house right before raid hours. Then there's also flasks. Those are slower to sell in my experience, but they do have bigger profit margins to make up for it. So look for those too and try to craft a few to see how they do for you. Moving on to blacksmithing. Blacksmithing is one of those professions meant to support the individual player rather than making gold. But this doesn't mean that blacksmithing has nothing to make gold with. First off, you have adamantite sharpening stones, a raiding consumable used mainly by hunters. The profit margin on those is 2 gold on my server currently, so they're definitely worth making. Another way to make gold with blacksmithing is the enchanting rods. Those are used by enchanters to create the runed enchanting rods of the corresponding material. But before they can do that, they need to buy a raw rod, tongue twister, from a blacksmith, and that's where they can make a bunch of gold with those. I'm pretty sure all of them are profitable currently on my server, with profits ranging from just a few silver for the lower tier ones to about 15 gold for the Eternium one. Then you can obviously make BOEs, like the Rage Steel Shoulders, Rage Steel Gloves, or even the Black Fel Steel Bracers. Those are pre-raid BIS items still relevant at this point in time, but they may not always be profitable to make, especially in later phases. So keep an eye on the profit margin on TSM to know whether they're worth making or not. Moving on to Enchanting. Obviously in TBC, vellums are not added to the game, so you can't just throw your enchants on the auction house and sell them that way. You'll have to actively advertise your services and wait for clients to come. The rarer the enchant is, the more you can ask as a fee. Although most enchanters I've worked with just asked me to pay them whatever I felt was fair, so you can go for that strategy too. But enchanting is not limited to enchanting. Disenchanting is also another way to make a ton of gold. You'll come across tons of green and blue BOEs all throughout your journey in Outland, and I would say 80 to 85% of those are worth disenchanting. If you use an add-on like TSM, you can easily look at the disenchanting value for any item, and if that's more than the vendor value, then you know you're good to disenchant that item. Enchanting is a great profession to have on an alt just for this reason. Throw your BOEs to your alt and make some passive income with this very easily. Lastly, for enchanting, you have the mana and wizard oils. Those are consumables used by casters and healers. The profit margin on those is quite good and they sell like candy on the auction house, so try to look into making those and try to sell them before raid time for maximum profit. Engineering might not look like a great profession at first glance, but make no mistakes, it's one of the best in terms of gold making. First off, you have scopes. Adamantite scopes, corium scopes, stabilized eternium scopes, all of those are worth making currently, with profits ranging from just a few gold to 100 gold. Then obviously, having engineering allows you to do gas clouds farming with the mote extractor, if you have a fast flying mount. Engineering being quite a rare profession to have in TBC makes it so that these gas clouds are pretty abundant in my experience, and each cloud you extract gives you anywhere between 3 and 5 motes. So if you have engineering, try crafting this item and go around Outland looking for those clouds. Moving on to jewel crafting. There's two main ways to make gold with jewel crafting. First, obviously you have gems. Some gems are more profitable to make than others. The blue agility gem, for example, has a profit margin of 15 gold on my server currently, so that's a really good one to have. Whereas the yellow crit gem is never worth making, so I definitely recommend using TSM to know what's good and what's not worth making. What I would do is I would buy the recipe for the gem that you use the most. If you find yourself needing it often, more than likely someone else also will, so you'll probably not only save yourself gold, but you'll also make gold out of that recipe you bought. That's what I did with the red agility gem recipe. Then, just like enchanting has disenchanting, jewel crafting has prospecting. You can use prospect on 5 raw outland ores to prospect them into random uncut gems. This is one of the most RNG gold makers, but TSM easily shows you the average gold you can expect from prospecting, and if you buy enough ores, you'll make a profit on average, given the prospect value is higher than what you bought the ores for, of course. Moving on to leatherworking. So just like blacksmithing, leatherworking is one of those professions that isn't designed to make you a lot of gold, but rather to allow you to craft items for yourself. But this doesn't mean you can't make gold with it. One of the best money makers with leatherworking is the leg enchants. Nether cobra leg armor, cleft hide leg armor, and cobra hide leg armor. All of those are worth making, ranging from 7 gold of profit to like 85 gold for the nether cobra one, not counting the primal nether, of course. Then there's one more obscure thing you can make with leatherworking, the riding crop. This is the new and improved version of carrot on a stick from vanilla. This also works with flying mounts, and this is currently going for a whopping 30 gold of profit per item. Probably not gonna last forever, but it is something worth looking at. Tailoring. So tailoring has a ton of gold making opportunities. Let's obviously talk about the special cloths first. Shadow cloth, spell cloth, and primal moon cloth. You can make each one of those once every 4 days, and if you do the specialization quest at level 60, you'll craft 2 instead of 1. But you can only have 1 spec, obviously, so this is a good passive income to do every 4 days. Then tailoring is also the profession for bags. Although the gigantic bags are the biggest bags in the game, they're also extremely expensive. So imbued netherweave bags and primal mooncloth bags are a fantastic alternative to go for most people. So look at making those. Finally, you have spell threads, runic and mystic spell threads. Those are leg enchants for casters and healers. They do sell for some decent price and at a decent rate, and they will be used all throughout the expansion. So get the recipes for both of these and spend your primal nether on the runic one whenever you have one laying around. Then of course you can make BOE items. The one that comes to mind is the Vengeance Wrap, the best cloak for a lot of classes, including hunters and red paladins. People will pay you a very good fee for your primal nether to craft them one of those, especially early on in the expansion. Finally, we have cooking. So cooking is a special one in the sense that the profit margins are very small on most food you'll craft. So you'll have to make big volumes to have this being a decent money maker. What I like to do is just queue 100 or so of a given food, go do something else, and come back and throw everything on the auction house. Also, try to sell things right before raiding times. Just like with any raid consumables, that's generally when you'll expect the best prices. Anyways, for cooking, here's some examples of what you can do. Kibler's Bits, Blackened Basilisks, Crunchy Serpent, Golden Fish Sticks, Fisherman's Feast, Talbuk Steak, and Roasted Cleft Hoof. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but from what I know, those are the main foods used by most classes in raids. Also, if you do fishing a lot, turning your fish into one of those could make you even more gold per fish, so consider that. And that's every profession in the game. I made as much research as I could and I tried to cover as much as possible, but I'm sure I'm forgetting something. So if you have a good money making craft you usually make with your profession, feel free to share it with us in the comments and let us know how much gold you usually make from it. And with that, this marks the end of this video. I hope you guys found it interesting. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the Classic WoW Curios channel for more content like this. As always, thank you all so much for watching this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.